Welcome to tonight's class on equanimity. This is a teaching from its ancient Tibetan Buddhist practice, equanimity. It's the 30th of January, 2024. So thanks for joining in. So equanimity is all about having a smooth mind that doesn't discriminate and make partial judgments about this person or that person, because we can't be at peace if we're saying, I like that person, I don't like that person deserves my love. That person doesn't deserve my love. That person deserves my compassion. That person doesn't. That animal deserves my love. That one doesn't. Very easy to have love towards a cat. And cuddle it and kiss it. Shave your cat. Then see if you have the same feelings towards it. So we're constantly putting people in different compartments, in groups. You're in that I like your group. You're in that I don't like your group. And they're in your I couldn't give a monkeys about your group. The vast majority of people that we walk past in the street, people we've known in the past, whatever it might be, are in there, couldn't give a monkeys about your group. And we've got a group of people who are we're not interested in, don't like, going bound to right down to potentially hate them. And then um, we've got like you a lot, really like you, um, best friends forever. We've got the whole spectrum of people, and it is I suppose like a bell curve for most of us. We're not interested in most people, and then there's the bits at the end. And so that bell curve of partiality towards people, if that's the right word, discrimination, judgment, it doesn't set the mind up for peace, because as it comes across different people, it's perceiving them in a certain way and developing attachment down the you're great end. Don't want to be away from you. You're great. Attachment. Can't stand you. Get away. You're horrible. Indifference. So couldn't give a monkeys about people sounds pretty neutral, but it's not. It's indifference, because it's no basis for love. We don't love people we're indifferent to. So equanimity allows us a vehicle to see people through a specific truth, a specific reality that is common to all living beings. Because we do this with animals, don't we? We do, like snakes down here, maybe. Snakes, tarantulas, cockroaches, creepy crawlies down there. At this end, you've got kittens and puppies and whatever your favorite animals are, down this end. Sloths for me. I like sloths. Probably move about the same speed as them. Sloths. And then in the middle, we've got a lot of animals which we're not indifferent to animals, are we generally? But they don't invoke a reaction in us. We see I don't know, we see a crow, say, and we don't go, oh, amazing. Foxes seem to be quite an unusual one. Foxes, some people can't stand foxes, want to eradicate them. Some people absolutely love foxes and think they're beautiful, take pictures of them. And then there's people who are indifferent to the foxes. And we can move across with people. A person 1 minute is nice to us because they're saying nice things to us. The next minute they criticize us. They're in this bunch. Time goes by and they will become indifferent to them, maybe. Or we've got people who we're indifferent to, and they praise us. Oh, they're nice. They're in this group. We're going to be attached to them a little bit. Want more praise off them. So, people that were down this end a little bit, we make up with them. They come down this end a little bit. So the same person could be moving along, and there's no space in the mind to be smooth and content and calm and balanced with that going on. We can't expand our love towards others much if we're indifferent to most of them. And anyone who's down this end where we've got attachment can annoy us and then be down this end. It makes our love very, very fragile. We're not putting it up. We're not growing our love from a firm base. I'm a structural engineer, so civil engineer. So it's like there's completely untrustworthy foundations to the love that we're creating. So what we can do is look at, is there a way we can create a really strong foundation of love that transcends the day in, day out kind of slings and arrows of where we would normally move people? And the answer from Tibetan Buddhism is yes. And the way we look at it is we look at absolute fundamentals that connects all living beings, so that we share a similarity that's really fundamentally the same. And if we associate with people and we understand them, we have empathy with them, that opens our heart up. It makes us less discriminatory, less judgmental, and we can relate. So, you know, if we've had a terrible accident with our neck and somebody else has, and they talk about their pain, obviously we can relate to them and we bond with them and empathize with them. But somebody who's hurt their big toe, maybe not so much if we haven't. So what is it that unites all living beings that we can empathize with, deeply empathize with meditative practice? Well, there are things that this person has, but that one doesn't, and those people do, and that people does. You know, nice houses, maybe we share the same career, the same love of rugby, whatever it might be. And some people have the same sort of things. But the one thing that unites us all is that we suffer and we wish to be free from it, and we want happiness and we try to attain it. And that's happening for all of us in every moment of our life, unless we're completely content. We're trying to move away from suffering towards happiness. We're trying to get away from hunger, get pleasurable food, feel full. We're trying to get away from tiredness, have a good sleep, feel rested. We're trying to get away from loneliness, chat to people, feel less isolated, feel more loved by others. We move around on our chair, trying to get more comfortable. We've tried to move away from unpleasant to pleasant. We move around in our bed, trying to get comfortable, moving from unpleasant to pleasant, trying to get comfortable, trying to be happier. We move around the people in our life, trying to have less disharmony and more harmony and love in our lives by who we associate with. We wear certain clothes that we feel good in, and maybe we throw away clothes that we don't feel so good in anymore. Maybe they've got old or whatever. So everything we're doing, even these minor adjustments in our chair, itches that we scratch, getting hungry, wanting to satiate that hunger, wanting nicer weather, and like getting out of the rain, getting into the warm, finding a less busy road to get from A to B, traveling at a different time of day so that we're not stuck in traffic and it's nicer journey. In our dreams, we're trying to get away from unpleasantness and fear in our dreams to pleasant and happy dreams. So our mind is perpetually looking to move from suffering to happiness and changing the conditions of our life to get there. And is it the same for other people? Is it the same for other people? Do we notice if we look around right now, people are traveling around all the motorways, up and down, around the A roads. They're going from A to B, and they hope that B is a happier situation than A that they left behind. Even if it's just going to a party or a friend's house for a chat or going to the supermarket. You know, we determine which supermarket because we think it's a better experience. Once we're in there and we've done our shopping, we're looking for the shortest queue because that's less frustrating. Same for animals and insects. So I'm discussing this so that we can meditate on it and use our own thoughts on it and our own experiences to check if it's valid, to check if it's true. Does this seem to stack up for the evidence we've experienced from the experience of our lives? Does it ring true? So we can check for animals and insects. Animals seem to be always trying to avoid being eaten and killed and trapped. They're on guard, or they're trying to overcome their hunger, or they're trying to get into the shade when it's hot to feel cooler. or when they're cold, they're trying to find some warmth. They're trying to find companionship if they are an animal or an insect that hangs around in packs. You know, the dogs all cuddling up together. Even insects, you look at an insect, it's searching for food usually. A little ant searching for food. I once watched some ants in my old house. They'd come in through the corner of the patio doors, up the side of the units, across the work surface to some jam. And the first one who'd found them had gone back and in their ant way had said, "Oi, there's a load of strawberry jam. It's fantastic. Come with me." And a long trail of ants all the way up, all the way to this blob of jam and all the way back, trying to get better conditions. I could have stamped on them, but being Buddhist, I wasn't going to do that. And I had a bit of a dilemma. What do I do? So I thought I'd put more jam out. Make the ants more happy. They're not bothering me. They're going out, they're coming back. So I put a bit more blob of jam out. And then after a while, I thought, okay, probably not the best idea because they might go back and say, there's loads more jam, more of you come. So I started to pat them on the bum. Sounds ridiculous. I started to just nudge them from behind with my finger. And they'd come around and they'd go back because they felt the finger. So I was creating a situation that instead of jam, they were getting frightened or discomfort. I hope not too much. Obstruction. And I'd pat them back and I'd pat them back. And I probably did this for about an hour, patting all the little mice, all the little ants back. Eventually they all turned around, they all went back home and left the jam. And I wiped the jam up and went around, went on my way. I connected to those ants because they were looking for happiness and to avoid hunger. That's all they were doing. They were no different from me. Because, they're in my kitchen. At some point, I'm going to be in that kitchen hungry, looking for food to satiate hunger. And in the West, well, not in the West, if we're rich enough, we never experience hunger. It's a big deal if we get hungry for 10 minutes in a day. And yet we have no compassion or thought for an insect looking for food, often. We just see them as an invader in our house. And so by recognizing that insect, that ant is hungry and it wants food, it wants to be free from suffering and it wants to be happy, I find that common bond and I find that empathy. And I react in ways that maybe look bonkers, maybe sound bonkers, not bonkers to me. They're bonkers to anybody who's not got equanimity or not thought about these, not been lucky enough to hear these teachings, these 2,000-year-old, 2,500-year-old teachings, and more than just hear them, meditate on them, because it has to go from my head to our heart. It has to go from my head to our heart. Can't see my heart from here. This is the journey we go on spiritually. Things move us. It's one thing being intellectually understanding. It's another thing, even agreeing with, it's another thing to be moved. We're aiming in meditation to be moved, for our heart to open and to feel that connection to other, whether that's other person or whether that's a woodlouse or a cockroach or a spider or a cat or a dog or a budgie or an owl or a dog or a cat or a tiger or a leopard. And we can actually open our heart to so many more living beings. So many more living beings. In a way that's affectionate, and therefore we have more equanimity. Our mind is not putting one person here and another person there and one animal here and there on the basis of what? How they are to us? Who the hell are we? Who the hell are we to decide that this person's good and bad and indifferent and things just on the basis of how we find them, as if we're the center of the universe and we are the arbiter of the information that is used to decide whether that person's worthy of love or not and worthy of our empathy. So this is how we can do this. If we don't do this, then when we sit to meditate, we're meditating with a very small band of people and our love is not universal. It's not even national. It's not even county-wide. It might not even be street-wide. It might not even include our neighbours. It might not even include everybody in our house. So we can expand the range of our love very widely. We don't have to like what people do. We can really hate what people do. We can despise certain kind of activities, awful things that happen in the world. But every single one of them is searching for happiness. And so what I've just described there is a big deal. We can have equanimity towards someone while they're doing bad things to us. And we'd have to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. This is a practice. But it's a damn sight healthier to not go extreme on someone because they've peed us off and we're angry and upset with them. It means the anger goes up and it comes down to a base of zero again. It's zero, it goes up, it comes down. If we don't have equanimity, the anger goes up, it comes down, but it doesn't come down to zero, and it bobbles around, and it might go up again and down again, and then there's another bit, and it builds on it. And then we start to get bitter. We start to get hateful and bitter. That really destroys our peace, destroys our sleep, destroys our relationships, destroys our equanimity. So if we come from the base of equanimity, we're imperfect. We're going to have problems. We're going to have states of mind that are attachment and indifference and anger, but they come back lower. The baseline at which we operate it becomes calmer and calmer and calmer. So when I first heard this teaching, it blew my mind. I suddenly realized how there can be an underlying truth that's recognized that opens my heart more, that isn't about personal discernment and discrimination and judgment. Doesn't turn me into a doormat. Doesn't turn me into a doormat. I can still go through a process of healing and understanding boundaries and checking whether I'm putting boundaries in place and improving that sort of thing. I've got a lot more chance of healing if I've not got a load of hate in me. A lot more, a lot more. And some people heal very slowly because you know the anger gets the better of them, the hurt gets the better of them. So I'm going to guide a meditation on we'll do body relaxation and breathing meditation, and then do a meditation on developing equanimity. Now, the first two you might have done hundreds of thousands of times, hundreds or thousands of times. It's prep. It's really important prep to get the most out of the other meditation. If we do 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of prep, and we do 5 minutes of meditation on equanimity with the right kind of mind, results will come, because meditation does what it says on the tin. It's valid. We can trust it. It works. If we meditate more, we get more peaceful. It's non-deceptive. That was the phrase I was looking for. It's not deceptive. Some things promise happiness, and then if we do more and more of them, they're not happiness. Like eating chocolate, eat the whole bar, feel sick. Meditation doesn't turn into suffering if we do more and more of it. So it's a true source of happiness. Okay, so if you'd like to get comfortable, comfortably straight back, chin tucked in a little, crown of the head up, we can rest the tongue against the back of the upper front teeth if we wish. That's rest the tongue against the back of the upper front teeth, just the tip of the tongue. If it feels awkward and distracting, don't do it, but the benefit is it stops our mouth drying out or getting too much saliva. And there will be resistance to equanimity because we're starting from where we're starting from, which is to have value judgments about people. What I mean by that is how much they deserve our love. So become aware of yourself in the chair. Now we think my body, my thoughts, my feelings, my soul, my meditation. Put the thought my to one side. The body, the feelings, the thoughts, the soul, the meditation. Huge difference between those two. Huge difference. So let's notice the body. Now we notice the thoughts. Now we can notice our feelings. What feelings are occurring right now? Not to judge them. And if one of the feelings is judgment, then watch that too. But what feelings are here without layering judgment on them? So these thoughts come and go. Bodily sensations come and go. Thoughts come and go. Now I'd like you to bring your awareness to your face. Relax the jaw muscles that often build up tension. We can build up a lot of tension in our jaw muscles. And in an extreme situation, it can cause us to grind our teeth at night. Now bring our awareness to our cheek muscles and our lips and our nose. Just relax off any tension you can find in your face. And imagine the space between the eyebrows widens a little, becomes supple. Now we bring our awareness to our shoulders and our neck. We're doing prep. We're relaxing the mind for this beautiful meditation on equanimity. Bring your awareness to your shoulders and your neck. Check your posture's good, comfortably straight back. And imagine warm rays of sunshine coming down onto the shoulders and the neck. Now we're going to relax our limbs. Bring your awareness to your left shoulder. Scan all the way down your arm, left hand and fingers and thumb. Any tension you find, just relax it off. Nice and friendly, self-kindness. Relax our arms. The same now from the right shoulder down. Now from the left hip, bringing your full awareness to your leg, checking all around it for tension and tightness that you might be holding on to, and relaxing it off wherever you find it. And the same now on the right, from the right hip all the way down. Relax tension, scan all the way down to the floor. Okay. Now visualize inside of your body cavity black smoke swirling around, and bound up in it is our limited love, our judgments of others, our focusing on the smaller things in life to discern who deserves our love, and our compassion, our empathy. That really restricts the openness of our heart. And with 3 nice, steady, deep breaths, with the intention to love more openly and enjoy that feeling, visualize this black smoke and our judgment of others on the basis of love. Imagine this all comes out through the nostrils into the distance. As you breathe out the black smoke, this judgment of others in terms of deserving love, take it out into the distance. After the 3rd deep out breath, imagine all of this lack of wisdom, not seeing things as they deeply are, goes. And we have space for truth and wisdom to arise within us, goodness to arise within us, peace to arise within us. Now as you breathe in, keep your breathing normal and visualize sparkling golden light coming in through your nostrils. And with it is gentleness, real tender gentleness that we all suffer. We're all imperfect. That we're all valid basis for love because we just exist. Unconditional love by its very definition has no judgment in it, doesn't decide who's worthy of love. because of what we've done in the past. It just loves us. So as you breathe in, imagine unconditional love coming in with a sparkling light. And if there's resistance, which is probably guilt or shame or something, just notice it. Keep going, because it washes away the shame and the guilt and the self-loathing, the self-criticism. Sparkling light coming in. I'll leave you to practice this a little bit. And now we're going to do some breathing meditation. Follow the breath in all the way down, then all the way back out again. Really gently focusing on this breath in and out. And now bringing the awareness to the nostril linings, noticing it's cooler as we breathe in and warmer as we breathe out. Concentrating on the changing cool to warm and warm to cool. Cool to warm, warm to cool. And that little pause in between where there's neither. Now focusing our attention at the very rims of the nostrils. Your mind wanders away, come back to observing the cool and warm sensations at the rims of the nostrils. And now we're going to do the meditation on equanimity. So we can start by just thinking about the teaching. It's not my teaching, it's come from thousands of years ago, passed down from teacher to teacher, group to group. Is it true? Very, very powerful question in any part of our lives. It will help with anything. Is it true? Now, is it true that we share a fundamental thing with all living beings, that we constantly look for better conditions and be away from worse conditions, even moving in our chair, scratching our head, getting food, getting shelter, keeping away from the heat, getting towards the cool, being financially secure, trying to be entertainment from instead of boredom. So this has to be a sincere investigation we do in meditation. Is it true? Is it true for other people? Do we find they're the same? Is it true for animals and insects? I'll leave you to contemplate this. And because the mind wobbles a bit before we've developed a stability of concentration, the job is to come back and remember what the contemplation was and then commence it again. Is it true that all animals and insects and people, well, we are animals, aren't we? All animals and insects and fish, all sentient beings, on some level are seeking better conditions and to avoid worse ones in each moment of their lives, even in dream. Is it true? And we can start to see how this commonality between us all is pervasive. It pervades every moment of our dreams and our waking world. We are all fundamentally the same in this regard, and it pervades us all. So now we can check with ourselves. Do we do this? Do we move around in our chair? Do we get a hot bath when we're cold, or a shower? Do we seek shade when we're hot? Do we seek food when we're hungry? Do we seek communication when we're lonely? Do we seek privacy when we're exhausted? Now, this is the basis for equanimity. This is how we are the same as others on a fundamental level in every moment of our waking and sleeping life. What we do is we discriminate on the basis of small little bits of things in relation to us. We pull that to one side because it's for a fraction of a day and it doesn't pervade. And we look at this other underlying need we all have, then we can develop empathy. We can develop real deep empathy and understand that while we might think ourselves to be intelligent, sophisticated humans, fundamentally we're no different from that woodlouse or that spider or that worm that's just trying to get better conditions. As I'm saying this, my little dog is trying to get comfortable on the chair with a cushion. And he's pushing it around and circling around to create a place to sit that's nice. He's doing just the same thing as me, moving around on my little bench, trying to get comfortable. Complete empathy with what he's trying to do. We're no different in our searching for better quality conditions. I can love him, deeply love him as a brother, as a sister, as a sentient being, fellow sentient being. And none of us are finding the right conditions because we don't look for peace inside. We're looking externally. Some of us are getting it badly wrong. So imagine now all living beings around you are all searching for happiness and to avoid suffering, to avoid unhappiness. And we're doing the same. Even in this meditation class video, we're doing the same. We're trying to reduce our busy mind and feel peace inside. We've finally started to look in the right place that delivers and is reliable. That's wonderful. We're no different from others. So just allow yourself to feel this empathy for all the animals around in the gardens, the people in the houses, on the basis of this one true fact, this one simple fact. And just allow your heart, your love to open in empathy more and more and more. And we can think of all those people who we've been indifferent to. And they're struggling just the same as us. They're trying to strive for peace and happiness just the same as us. They're doing the same task. As we drive past them, we see them in the street, we can think nothing of them, or we can think, fellow sentient being trying to find happiness all the time, just like we are all the time. Forget that they might have a different football top on, different team, the way they walk, where they're going, where they're coming from. And then when this more smooth mind of equanimity starts to arise a bit, just take this as the object of meditation to focus on, like we did the breath, and just rest your mind in it. Enjoy it. You have to learn to really enjoy meditation. You don't have to have a huge heart of love to enjoy meditation. A little bit, and rest in it, and bring the mind back to it. Equanimity is like universal empathy. If your mind wanders away, come back to this feeling. If there's a certain line of thinking or particular kind of person or animal or insect that allows you to develop equanimity easier, some part of the previous few minutes of meditation, just go back to that. If there is one, to invoke this feeling again. If not, contemplate a little bit what we've been doing. Allow the heart to open and understand universal empathy, because we all chase. Really, we all want peace. We all constantly want to reduce uncomfortable unpleasantness. All of us, all the time. Contemplate it until the equanimity feeling comes, and then rest your mind on it. If your mind's wandered away, come back. If the feeling is still here, rest in it. Stay with it in concentration, relaxed. If it's gone, try to regenerate it, recall it, see if it'll come back easily. If not, contemplate the teaching again a little bit in a heartfelt way. We can contemplate ourselves. Do we search perpetually for good conditions and try to move away from bad conditions, uncomfortable ones? This develops our humility. It closes the gap between self and other, especially people we don't like or animals and insects we don't like. Our aversion evaporates through our humility. Are we searching for better conditions? When inside of us, not very far away in each moment, is peace from meditation. It's a wonderful feeling, humility. It comes from recognizing our own suffering, how little we can control, and how similar we are to other living beings. And then we have one of the richest treasures we can have, which is some equanimity, some peace. Can't buy it. It's not available in Lidl. If it was, there'd be queues round the block. And you're having some of it now. I think these teachings are wonderful because they're so simple and basic, and yet nobody teaches it to us. We don't learn it at school. They want to teach us music or physics, maths. No one teaches us that we're all searching for the same better conditions all the time, and that it unites us all. And we all share that exhaustion, that tiredness, that fear. And that recognizing that is your humility and peace and empathy. If you've got kids and they're interested, next time they look at an animal or an insect, ask them, do you think it's looking for better conditions? Do you think it's looking for happiness and to be away from unpleasantness? And check with your child. We struggle all the time. We're trying to be this higher self, this better self, this true self. We're trying to get more, earn more, be more. I watched a bird the other day in a traffic jam and I watched a bird and it was really windy and that bird did not once struggle to fight against the ebb and flow of the gusts of wind. It totally went with where the wind was blowing it, or would use it to go up, rise up or down, or didn't try to fly against the wind once. Watched it for ages. And we can meditate like this. We can meditate like this. If things are coming up, we meet them with different meditation practices. We can learn skillfully to apply different meditations for different things. So if we're feeling like our love is restricted and small, I want it to be bigger, this is the meditation. Before we come out of meditation, we can dedicate the peace we've created to all living beings. How wonderful if all living beings found contentment. May they all find what they need to satisfy their wishes. We all have the same wish. May everyone find peace. And then when it feels comfortable, just gently allow your eyes to open and remain aware of this feeling of equanimity and humility and empathy. Thank you. Oh, if you'd like to listen to watch more of these kinds of meditations that I guide, then you can find them on Paul Follows Meditations on YouTube. And if you want to sign up for live events like this on Zoom or in person in Perford in Surrey, then you can find details on the front of my website, paulfollows.com, and sign up for class reminders. Well, I hope you've enjoyed a mind of equanimity, at least tasted it a little, glimpsed it, rested in it, and I hope it helps you through the rest of the day and weeks and months. And you can always come back to this meditation if your mind just feels stressed and tight and small and worried and fearful.